You're 30 and you're broke. Not in the nostalgic, fun college ramen way, but in the kind where opening your bank app feels like stepping onto a tightrope. Rent is looming, bills stack up faster than you can track, and somehow, despite working hard, the paycheck never seems to stretch far enough. Every month feels like a reminder that adulthood didn't come with instructions and you're left improvising as best you can. Meanwhile, everyone else seems to be moving forward, buying homes, starting families, building security, while you feel like you're treading water. Here's the thing, that feeling isn't a flaw in you, it's a structural problem. Wages haven't kept pace with housing costs, inflation chips away at your earnings, and the economy has shifted in ways that make traditional advice, cutting lattes, skipping brunch, feel almost laughably insufficient. The game changed years ago, and nobody handed you the new rule book. It's not laziness, it's math, opportunity, and timing all stacked against you. This is where clarity becomes your most powerful tool. Before you even think about hustling harder or scrimping every penny, you need to step back and understand your starting point. That's why I want to introduce the GAP framework: goals, actions, payoff. Goals help you define what enough looks like in concrete terms, covering rent stress-free, eliminating a debt, or building a small emergency buffer. Actions are the steps you take to move toward those goals, no matter how small. Payoff is tracking the results, measuring progress, and letting success reinforce itself. Think of GAP as your personal blueprint for taking control. It doesn't rely on magic tricks, overnight success, or secret hacks. It's about seeing clearly, acting intentionally, and measuring results. Right now, the longer you wait, the more those small, unnoticed leaks in your finances grow into walls that block opportunity. Every day you drift in uncertainty is a day of potential compounding wasted, not just in dollars, but in confidence, options, and peace of mind. Before we get into the how, pause for a moment. Picture yourself at 40 if nothing changes. Same paycheck-to-paycheck stress, same anxiety over rent, same feeling of being behind while everyone else is ahead. That version of yourself isn't imaginary. It's a very real timeline you're building with your inaction. Now imagine something different. Taking control, building momentum, and gradually widening the space between surviving and thriving. That's what GAP makes possible. Now that you understand the starting point, it's time to focus on what you can control. The GAP framework isn't a vague motivational slogan, it's a practical map for turning small actions into meaningful progress. Start with goals. Don't aim for sweeping transformations overnight. Pick something tangible, covering rent without stress, chipping away at a credit card, or saving a small emergency buffer. Specific numbers and timelines matter. They give your brain something real to focus on, something you can track. Ambiguous goals like get rich are invisible. They offer no leverage. Next comes actions. These don't have to be monumental. They're micro moves that expand your financial breathing room. Maybe it's taking an extra freelance shift, tutoring a skill you already have, or delivering groceries a few times a week. It could be learning a marketable skill online in 30 minutes a day, something that stacks over weeks. The key isn't intensity, it's consistency. One extra hour here, one small side gig there compounds quietly but powerfully. This is where psychology meets finance. Scarcity, the feeling of never having enough, isn't just a challenge, it's leverage. It forces you to prioritize, to identify actions that yield the greatest payoff for the least stress. That's why the payoff step is crucial. Track results rigorously. Which actions actually give you breathing room? Which barely move the needle? Measure, adjust, and repeat. This feedback loop is where momentum grows. Seeing even $200 extra in your account isn't trivial. It's tangible evidence that your efforts work. Small wins build confidence, and confidence fuels more action. Let's put this in perspective. Mia was a bartender struggling to cover rent. She started applying GAP. She defined a goal, added extra shifts and occasional catering gigs, and tracked every dollar. Within months, she was earning $6,800 per month, not because she suddenly became extraordinary, but because she acted intentionally, measured the results, and doubled down on what worked. The lesson is simple. You don't need a massive raise or a miracle side hustle. You need focus, repetition, and short-term discomfort directed toward measurable progress. Every micro-action is a step away from surviving and toward freedom. And the beauty of this approach, you don't have to uproot your life. You don't need perfection. You just need clarity, deliberate effort, and the discipline to measure what actually works. Now, let's zoom out and see why these small, consistent steps matter. Micro-actions may feel slow, even frustrating at first. Sacrificing a night out, waking up early, or learning a new skill in your free hour doesn't feel glamorous. But here's the secret. Progress compounds. Each deliberate action builds on the last, and before long, the gap between where you are and where you want to be grows faster than you expect. Think of the GAP framework like a staircase. Each step is small, tracking an extra shift, completing a short freelance project, or saving $50. But as you climb, the floor beneath you strengthens. That floor is your confidence, your agency, your control over life's unpredictability. Eventually, the steps feel lighter because you're no longer scrambling to survive, you're building leverage. That leverage can become freedom, the ability to take risks, negotiate better pay, or simply breathe without financial panic. Here's the reality many 30-year-olds miss. It's not about becoming rich overnight. It's about durability, resilience, and options. The goal isn't a six-figure salary tomorrow. It's the ability to make choices without stress. Every micro-gap action contributes to that. Within months, what started as tiny wins snowballs. You pay off a debt, add a buffer to your account, pick up a higher-paying side skill. Each step compounds, turning short-term discomfort into long-term opportunity. Now, imagine yourself at 40 if nothing changes. The stress, uncertainty, and frustration multiply quietly. But if you commit to GAP, goals, actions, payoff, those same 10 years look very different. You've built income streams, acquired skills that pay, and cultivated the discipline to make deliberate choices. You're not just surviving, you're steering your life. You've created freedom through consistency, not luck. Here's the takeaway. Being 30 and broke isn't a verdict on your character. It's a signal, a chance to reset, and a test of whether you'll act intentionally. Start small. Pick one goal, take one action, measure the payoff. Repeat. Step by step, week by week, the knot in your stomach loosens, replaced by clarity, confidence, and control. The path isn't glamorous, but it works. Micro-actions today become momentum tomorrow, and momentum compounds to freedom. You don't need a miracle. You need focus, patience, and courage to start. The sooner you begin, the sooner your future self thanks you.